Is it too close, Charles? Bhoge Rogbhayam Kule Chutibhayam Vitte Nripanadbhayam Mane Dainyabhayam Bale Ribubhayam Grupe Janayabhayam Shastre Vadibhayam Gune Khalabhayam Kaye Kritantadbhayam Sarvavastu Bhayannitam Bhuviniram Vairagameva Vayam. From Bhurtiriyari Vairagya Shatakam. In enjoyment there is fear of disease. In social position, the fear of falling off. In wealth, the fear of hostile king and robbers. In honor, the fear of humiliation. In power, the fear of foemen. In beauty, there is a fear of old age. In scholarship, there is a fear of opponents. In virtue, there is a fear of a scandal. In body, there is fear of death. In this world, everything is fraught with fear. Renunciation alone makes one fearless. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be at home. Good morning, I greet you all. This for my heartiest Vijaya greetings. As you know, Durga Puja was ended 2 days ago. We are very unhappy that we could not perform Durga Puja in our temple. In Balloon Math also, closed door, only the monks. But they broadcast, and I saw 3 days, and offered flowers with the monks through computer. Anyhow, what to do? Hopefully next year we shall be able to perform our worship by Mother's grace. This morning our subject is spiritual excitement in human life. Very interesting subject. All human beings, from the child to the old, want happiness, joy in life. Nobody wants misery. Nobody. But from the very beginning of creation, these 3 kinds of miseries torment human beings. Adhyatmika dukkha, adibhautika dukkha, and adidoivika dukkha. When we say Shanti, 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 always remember we are trying to counteract these 3 kinds of miseries. What is Adhyatmika dukkha? The sufferings pertaining to body and mind. physical suffering and mental suffering. That is called adhyatmika dukkha. Adibhautika dukkha means the suffering which comes from outside, external objects. Some tigers, lions, bad people, from outside down people. That is called adibhautika. And adhidaivika is supernatural. Sometimes people suffer from tornado, earthquake, various kinds of war, disaster, which is not in human hand. So these three kinds of miseries are tormenting all human beings from the very beginning of creation. All religions promise that how to get rid of misery. Shankar philosophers came and they said, Dukkhotra vighata jiggasa tadavagata ke hetu drishti sa partha chet naikantyatyantato bhavat. In the Shankarika, Ishwar Krishna says, being tormented by three kinds of desires, a question arose in human mind, how to get rid of misery. Well, if you are hungry, eat food, then your hunger will go away. But again the hunger comes. It is not atyantika, it is not permanent solution that we want. You have lost, enjoy. You have hunger, enjoy. But again they come back. We want something that we shall not get any more misery. That is the reason all religions have some suggestion. This is the way you can get rid of misery. Buddha experimented. He found sabbam dukkham dukkham kshanikam kshanikam salakshanam salakshanam shunyam shunyam. In this world everything is species, different species. Swalakshanam. Dukkham dukkham, full of misery. Finally, shunyam shunyam, everything goes into void. That is Buddha's philosophy. How to get rid of this misery? Buddha says, take my eightfold path. You will get Nirvana. Christianity, they also mention, follow my name. Jesus says, follow my 9 beatitudes. Blessed are the pure in heart, therefore they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers. All these blessed, blessed. 9 times Jesus said, blessed, blessed. Take my disciplines. You will get rid of misery. Moses says, follow my 10 commandments. Do not kill. Do not commit adultery. Do not bear false witness. Follow. You will get rid of misery. Vedanta says, mukti, liberation, transcend this maya. In the world, there is a pair of opposites, good and evil, happiness and misery. Nobody can escape it. The moment you enter this realm of maya, pairs of opposites will grab you. No escape. As Swamiji gave a beautiful illustration, this is the pendulum of the clock. It must swing, tick-tock, tick-tock. Happiness, misery, happiness, misery. You cannot just stop it. Our goal is to stop the pendulum. That means liberation. Misery will be there in this world. Body ache, backache, headache, all aches and pain will be there. But they are not permanent. Very interesting. Study this misery. Dukkhavat. in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna told Arjuna, Matra sparshasdu kunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama apaino anita tang stitik shasva bharata. That is my advice to you. Krishna said to Arjuna, Matra, the senses. Happiness and misery come from this contact of the senses and the sense objects. If the favorable sensation comes, you are happy. If unfavorable sensation comes, you are unhappy. Same sense organs bringing objects inside the mind. If you hear good, beautiful music, you are happy. If loud jazz music, you are unhappy. Same ears bringing the sound. Same thing, eyes. Good side, happy. Bad side, unhappy. Same sense organs are bringing all the sense objects to the mind. If favorable, we are happy. If it is unfavorable, we are unhappy. So Krishna says, Mate de agoma apaino. Do you know what that means? They come and go. Agoma comes, apaino ends, goes. This happiness and misery goes in this body. No human body is perfect. Anita, another adjective Krishna used. It is impermanent, not absolute real. Tongue is so forbear. If there is any medicine, let's take Tylenol and take Advil, Krishna did not say forbear. Forbear, there is no other way. Sri Ramakrishna also says, Sha, Sha, Sha. Forbear, forbear, forbear. He who forbears survives. He who does not forbear perishes. We are talking about misery, suffering. Sometimes we see Shastra. Shastra means health. How is your Shastra? My Shastra is good. I am healthy. Shastra, Shwa means self. Stha means dwell. The person who dwells in his own self, he is Shastravan. He is healthy. Shastra. Very interesting. If somebody asks you, how are you? You will say, I am fine. I am healthy. I never say, why are you healthy? But the moment if I ask you, how are you? I am not well. I am sick. Tell me what happened to you. Just see, immediately I shall ask you, tell me what is wrong. The moment I ask you, how are you? I am happy. I never ask you, why are you happy? The moment you say, I am unhappy, then I shall ask you, why are you unhappy? Tell me the cause. Just see how we live in this world. Happiness, misery, happiness, misery. Very interesting. When you study our human life, a monk was suffering from pain, and he was laughing. Someone asked, why are you laughing? But do you know why I am laughing? I was thinking of Sri Ramakrishna's suffering from cancer. One day he was telling, my doctor, Madhu doctor, he's a good doctor. But his character is not good. Every night he goes to his mistress carrying food. His health is good. And I am a holy man, look, I have so much pain in my throat. Sri Ramakrishna, even his suffering, tells us the humor. Madhu doctor রোজ সেই তার উপপত্নীর কাছে যায়, তার স্বাস্থ্য ভালো, আমি সাধু লোক, দেখো আমার ব্যাধি। That's what Ramakrishna said. Very funny. So what do we need? We need from this, we want really, life sometimes, we know, it becomes boring, hackneyed, stagnant. A stagnation comes to life. We do not want that. In the domain of Maya, these things works. The three gunas are continuously playing. Always remember, Sattva, peace, tranquility; Rajas, activity; Tamas, dullness, inertia. It is the Rajas which is playing on the Sattva and playing on the Tamas. It is all play of the gunas. So when it is in the Tamas, we become lazy. We do not, no enthusiasm, no excitement, boring. That we find in our day-to-day life. How to create excitement every day? We want excitement. Excitement invigorates our daily life. Sometimes ago, I gave a lecture on faith, hope, and love. These three things are indispensable in human life. Faith. If I have no faith, I will be miserable. You will be miserable. Hope. If you do not hope, you will not get up from your bed. What is the purpose of getting up from bed? Let me lie down. And love. If there is nobody in this world to love you, life becomes very barren, miserable. How to create excitement? I remember, I knew a person in our town. Through him, hundreds of people went to Belur Math and took initiation. Ramakrishna mantra from the president. He used to read the Gospel of Ramakrishna in the living room, and all the neighbors would come. And once a month, he would rent a bus. Suppose in India, middle class, poor class family, they do not have money to go for pilgrimage or for outing or some kind of excitement. So he told these ladies, you give 10 rupees, you give 10 rupees, you give 10 rupees, so that we can rent a bus. And from our town, that bus will take them nearly 35, 40 ladies. They're all housewives. Cooking, cleaning, and raising the children, no outing, boring. So he used to take this group, first Dakshineshwar. Then they will go to Kamarpukur, Jairambati. Then in the evening, at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, they will all come back to our town. Oof, those ladies are so grateful to this man. We are so grateful that at least we have a little outing, we have a little pilgrimage. And he used to tell them the stories of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Swamiji. That kind of thing brings excitement of these poor middle class people. Excitement. Excitement has many synonyms: exhilaration, elation, enthusiasm, eagerness, agitation, emotion. This excitement generates in human system in 5 places. We know the Atman, our pure consciousness, which is our true nature, is covered with 5 sheaths. The first sheath is called Anandamaya Kosha, blissful sheath. Next, intellectual sheath. Third, mental sheath. Fourth, vital sheath. Fifth, physical sheath. So, this Atman is covered. That is the reason we do not experience the Atman. We will have to remove this covering one after another. So, in the physical sheath, we get excitement. How? Sense pleasure. Food. All physical things, I need a big, nice car, this, that. All physical things give excitement. In the vital sheath, prana. Food. Who eats food in your body? Prana. How does it prana work? Do you know what? When I think about prana, do you know what I think? I think about locomotive engine. Nowadays only electric engine or diesel engine. Locomotive engine we remember. It's a big boiler. They will put coal there and they will put water. The water will be heated, then steam will come, and that steam will pull the all railway cars. That is the way locomotive engine works. So, water and fire, these two things generate that vapor. So this human body, do you know what do you do? You put food and you put water. These two things generate energy. If you do not eat, if you do not drink, you will collapse. So in this energy, that is the reason we eat food, we drink to generate energy. This needs food, good food. Prana. I remember when we were young, we were in school, we used to practice pranayama. Do you know how we used to practice pranayama? But how long you can stay under the water. We used to bathe in the pond. So we used to go and dive and grab a concrete steps and hold. That's how long you can stay. That is the way we used to experiment, that how much control we have our breath and how long we can stay under the water. That is all excitement of prana. Yogis do that. I'm telling you how excitement comes in the vital plane. Mental plane, always remember, mind is the king of all 10 sense organs. A mind, happiness, misery, pain, everything is registered by the mind. Your body does not save the pain, it is mind. That is the reason Sri Ramakrishna says, let the misery, let the pain and mind know each other. Let the disease and the body take care of themselves, so my mind, you dwell in bliss. Ramakrishna knew the technique, how to separate the mind from the body. I am the Atman, I am neither the body. That is the goal of Vedanta philosophy. How to separate, how to separate. We get aches and pain, and because mind is still connected to the body. So mind gets excitement. Suppose your son is in Afghanistan in war. He came back at the airport and you are going to receive your son. The moment you see, you are so excited. You holding your son, you started to cry that you, out of joy that you got back your son. He is not dead in the war. I'm just telling you that how mind gets excitement. This is the way it gets excitement. When you see the loved one, when I see you, I get love, I get joy. This is the way we get excitement. Intellectual excitement, we find the scientists, when they discover anything, they are excited. when a writer writes a book and gets the Nobel Prize, he is excited. Poets, literary work, intellectual achievement brings excitement. I'm just telling you how we get excitement in different planes of human system. Next is Anandamaya Kosha, blissful sheath. Suppose you sat for meditation and you have a vision of Sri Ramakrishna, clean Sri Ramakrishna seated in front of you. You are excited. You tell everybody, hey, I have seen Sri Ramakrishna today in my meditation. Or the yogis hear the Anahata Dhuni, that uninterrupted, that sound which comes from the fourth chakra. They get excited. They get excited. Once you see God, you want to see God again and again, again and again, again and again, because you are excited. That we see in Sri Ramakrishna's life. Blissful sheath. Very interesting. I remember a few days ago I was reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Bhavanath, a young devotee, Swamiji's classmate, used to come and see Sri Ramakrishna every week. One week he did not come. Sri Ramakrishna said, hey, you did not come last week. What is the matter? Bhavanath says, sir, I saw you in Calcutta, in the car, when you were going by carriage. At that time I saw you. Do you know what Sri Ramakrishna said? Are you satisfied only seeing? Don't you want to touch? Don't you want to talk? That impressed me. Really impressed me. There's a gradation of this realization of God. Seeing, touching, talking. Few days that thought came to my mind, and shall I be happy only seeing? That is called excitement. Mystics experience those things. Worldly excitement has a limitation, but the spiritual excitement has no limitation, unending. Jajati, a king, wanted to have enjoyment. So he got a boon. If somebody can exchange his youth, you can enjoy. So he took his youngest son, Puru's youth, and enjoyed sensual enjoyment for 1,000 years. After enjoyment, he declared, Na jatu kaman kamanam upavogena sammati havisha krishna vartvaiva bhuyo evavi vardhate. This is my 1,000 year sensual enjoyment, I tell you. Jajati says. It is in the Mahabharata. Enjoyment cannot be satiated by enjoyment. Each can be satiated, each will increase more and more. If you pour butter or ghee, clarified butter or ghee into the fire rises more and more and more. Similarly, the enjoyment also, it rises more and more and more. It is unending. Ramakrishna describes his spiritual experience from the awakening of Kundalini. I sometimes ask you those who think about spiritual experience, please read Ramakrishna's Divine Play, Volume 3, Chapter 2. Name of the chapter is Bhav, Darshan, Samadhi. Bhav means ecstasy, Darshan means vision, Samadhi. Read that chapter very carefully. Then you will know what is called true spiritual experience. Sri Ramakrishna said, As you know, that Kundalini, the Ida, Pingala, Sushumna. Ida is the left side. The energy goes over the head and goes down through the right channel and go to the Muladhara, the bottom of the backbone. So this is the way energy is continuously flowing. That is called external world. When that energy enters through the Sushumna channel, then real spiritual experience comes. Sri Ramakrishna says this movement of the Kundalini comes from different ways. First, called Pipilika Goti, ant motion, ant. Small ant. When it goes, you will get tickling sensation over through the backbone. And it, from the bottom, and it will come to the head, you will get samadhi. Bhek Goti, frog motion. What is frog motion? You have seen a frog hops 2-3 times, stops, again hops 2-3 times, stops, hops 2-3 times, stops. This is the way Kundalini rises. When it goes to the Sahasrara, you will get samadhi. Third, he said, Sharpagoti, snake motion. Snake never moves straight. Zigzag, 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 zigzag. That is the snake moves. So Kundalini also moves in a zigzag, zigzag, zigzag way. Fourth, Pokshigoti, bird movement, bird motion. No bird flies straight. In this way, birds flies. That is the way also Kundalini moves. Banor Goti, monkey motion. Monkey motion, monkey hoops, gives a jump from one tree to another tree, then somebody then jump on your roof and you will get some cucumber. So hoops, hoops, hoops. You know how Sri Ramakrishna mentioned all these things so vividly. Then what happens? He described about this experience. I wanted to read, but that is the way Sri Ramakrishna, the vividly Sri Ramakrishna says. Let me read a little to you, see what Sri Ramakrishna said. I can paraphrase to you, but you will get fresh from Sri Ramakrishna's description. Regarding the visions that occur each center in Kundalini rises through the Sushumna channel, the Master said, Vedanta speaks of 7 planes, in each of which the aspirant has a particular kind of vision. The human mind has a natural tendency to confine its activities in the 3 lower centers, the regions of anus, the genitals, and the navel, and therefore is content with the satisfaction of eating, dressing, coition, and so forth. If the mind transcends those 3 centers and reaches the 4th, the one near the heart, the aspirant sees a divine light. The mind may sometimes reach the heart center, but then descend to the 3 lower centers. However, when the mind comes to the 5th center, near the throat, the aspirant cannot speak of mundane things. He or she talks about God only. When I was in this stage, if anybody spoke of worldly things before me, I would feel as though I were being struck violently on the head. I would run away to the Panchavati. But if one's mind reaches the 6th center between the eyebrows, there is no more fear of falling. The aspirant then attains the vision of the Paramatman, the Supreme Self, and remains always in Samadhi. there is only a thin veil as transparent as glass between the center and the Sushumna, the 1,000-petal lotus at the crown of the head. These are the Sri Ramakrishna's own experiences. This brings excitement, spiritual life excitement, when this Kundalini rises. Ramakrishna demonstrated spiritual adventure. I sometimes say Dakshineshwar is the lab of God realization. Sri Ramakrishna is the unique religious personality in the world who experiences God in Hindu way, then Muslim way, Christian way. After realizing God in different ways, he proclaimed as many faiths, so many paths. Do not quarrel about religion. If one day he said, do you know what happened to me? After God realization, I was thinking, is it over? Then I was thinking, that section is so beautiful, I must reach it. Page 325, 304. One who lives near the sea sometimes has a desire to find out how many pearls are hidden in the ocean depths. Similarly, after realizing Divine Mother and being constantly near her, I thought that I should see her multiple forms. If I had a desire to see her in a particular way, I would importune her with a longing heart. Then the gracious Mother would supply whatever was necessary to experience that form, make me practice that sadhana, and reveal herself to me accordingly. Thus I practice sadhanas belonging to various paths. I shall never forget. You are seated near the ocean. You have a desire to see what is under the ocean. So he saw the infinite God. He was thinking, how many ways that the infinite manifests I want to see. That is the reason he started to practice Tantra sadhana. 64 branches of Tantra. You see, Tantra has 3 schools, Ashwakranta, Vishnukranta, Rathakranta. Each Kranta has 64 sadhanas. So he practiced 64 sadhanas of Vishnukranta within few years. To practice one sadhana, one person spends the whole life. 64 sadhanas finished under the guidance of Bhairavi Brahmani. Next, Vaishnava sadhana. Like Ramayit Babaji Jatadhari came and taught him the mother's attitude to the child, that kind of relationship with God. Then he practiced Madhura Bhava, love her and the beloved, that attitude. Then he practiced Vedanta sadhana, Totapuri. That naked monk came, he taught Sri Ramakrishna Vedanta. The Guru took 40 years to get Nirvikalpa Samadhi. The disciple, within 3 days, got Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Amazing. Guru needed 40 years, disciple only attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi within 3 days, not 3 years. Then he practiced Islam. He took Allah mantra, repeated, and had the vision. Then he practiced Christianity, had the vision of Jesus. After realizing God's different faiths, he proclaimed as many faiths, so many paths. In this worldly plane, when we attain our goal, our effort, our excitement stops. Suppose a person wants to be a doctor, but he has become a doctor, then it stops. I want to be an engineer, I want to be a senator, I want to be the president of the country, but there it just stops. But do you know what? God gave us the Atman, the consciousness within, and desire. Desire also is of two kinds, good desire, bad desire. So if you have good desire, you will go to follow the good path, and bad desire will take you to the bad path, and you will suffer from karma, that's all. All human beings searching for that only one thing, happiness, happiness, happiness. Bhumaiva sukham nalpe sukhamasti. The Upanishad tells us, happiness is only in the infinite, not in the finite. So in this world, everything is finite. Finite objects. I had a friend. He was the first boy in our class. He became an IAS officer. Then, some years ago, I was in Calcutta. He came to see me. Retired. His wife lives in England. He lives in Calcutta. So I was asking that, tell me what do you do? You are a retired person. But you know, now you only now play with money. I invest money in the stock market, that is my game. And he told me, perhaps if I die, I shall leave some money to Ramakrishna Mission. I don't know. I never met him. I have no contact anymore. I was thinking that here is a brilliant boy. But money is the excitement. The dollar bill, it is written in God we trust. The dollar is the God, you see. Some human beings are money-making machines. Swami Chetanananda made a major remark. The American founding fathers proclaimed the Declaration of Independence on 4th July 1776. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In the first draft he wrote, life, liberty, and wealth. Anyhow, pursuit of happiness, that is the goal. Swami Chetanananda wrote another funny story in his book, Adventure in Religious Life. He said, happiness. A woman lost her husband. She loved her husband very much. So she thought, I want to bring the soul of my departed husband. So she engaged a medium. Through medium, exorcist, he brought the soul. Then this woman was asking, Peter, how are you? Are you happy? Oh, yes, I am extremely happy. Are you happier than when you are in this earth with me? oh, more happy than living with you. Then he said, Peter, then you must be in heaven. Tell me something about heaven. Heaven? I am in I am in hell. I am in hell. Very funny way he wrote that story anyhow. But you know, not that all marriages are bad. One day when I was in Laguna, every evening 6 to 7 I go for a walk. So when I go to the ocean, then after walking I sit on a bench, and I see the sunset and I repeat mantra. So I was seated there, one couple, maybe in their 50s, came to me, could you take a picture of us with their phone camera, iPhone? I go, sure. They're saying, today is our marriage anniversary. So I took pictures and go, no, they're standing this way. And go, no, the sun is coming. You go this way so that you must face the sun so that I shall take a good picture. So I took 4 or 5 pictures with a nice way. I was watching, they're so happy. I was thinking, good married life. Wonderful, there's so much peace, happiness. In God's grace. Sometimes when I go walk, one of our devotees, he died, bad chap. There is a restaurant called Las Brisas, which is a Mexican restaurant. Inside, very, very expensive, and outside there is also many tables are there, very fancy. But just near the ocean, good view. So when they eat, I was telling chap, I envy the stomach of these people. They are eating all this junk food, you know. Their stomachs are good, and look, my stomach is so bad. I envy their stomachs. Then chap told me, Swami, you don't know. All of them have antacid pills in their pocket. Chap was so funny. So then from the main, after the beach, we cross the Pacific Coast Highway, then we go into the Ocean Avenue, and then over the hill, then I come back to my place. So in the Ocean Avenue, there is a tavern, Ocean Tavern or some. Sunday, nearly 50, 60, all these motorcycles come and the macho people, they enter that tavern, and such a loud music, you can hear from a distance. So I was telling chap, if you want to rouse your Kundalini, enter there. You will not have to make any effort. Have a bottle of beer and sit there and hear the music, your Kundalini will rise. But Swami, it may rise, but it will fall next moment. Funny. Sometimes I used to watch, so many dogs, and after 6 o'clock you can bring the dogs in the beach. And people are running, dogs and dogs and dogs. There are 75 million dogs in America. Then I went to give a talk to Kali Mandir on Saturdays. So I saw 2 arrows. Next to Kali Mandir is a dog ranch, and this side is the Kali Mandir. So they have a sign, dog ranch, God ranch. So I told him, let me stand here, take a picture. But Swami, people come, "Hey, where is the dog ranch?" So we put that arrow mark, go there. And if one God, come here. Funny. Excitement. They have their puja and festivals, excitement. Some people get excitement from traveling or pilgrimage. Human beings are different. Some are tourists, some are pilgrims. Both get excitement in two different planes. It is true. Some people go for cruise, these travel, these, and some people go for pilgrimage. There's one devotee in California. She saves money all the year round. Once a year, nearly 1 or 2 months, she goes to India. She travels all 12 Jyotirlingas, Amarnath, Kedarnath, Badrinath, all holy places. That is her excitement. But Swami, I do not drink, I do not smoke, I do not go to the party, I do not go to a good restaurant, buy food. I save money and I spend my money for pilgrimage. That is where I get excitement. Excitement. Last few days, we did not do Durga Puja, but at night time I used to watch Belur Math Durga Puja. Oof, the way they perform puja in a perfect way. 40, 50 people are the supply line. And the way they repeat the mantras and all these things. I repeated the mantras when the Pushpanjali, flower offering mantra, I repeated with them. Wonderful. Excitement. In this respect, Hinduism has more advantage than any other religions. Why? Because we have many gods and goddesses. We have many holy places all over India. We have many festivals. We say, 12 mashe 13 parban. 13 festivals in 12 months. All over India. In South India, in North India, West India. East India, all over India, festivals, something always going on. These religious festivals break boredom in day-to-day life and divert the minds of the people to the spiritual path. Swami Vivekananda made a remark. Expansion is life. Contraction is death. Stagnation is death. We don't like to stagnate. If you read Swami Vivekananda's books, Volume 3, Lectures from Colombo to Almora, you will find how Swami is excited, inspired, millions of Indians through his lectures. Freedom movement came. Swamiji inspired the freedom fighters. They are excited. They gave their lives for freedom. Our Vedanta scriptures are the mines of inspiration and excitement. This Upanishads, Gita, generate spiritual excitement. I shall read to you 5 Rik mantras. I shall not tell the Sanskrit, I shall read the English. You will see that how our Vedantic tradition inspire people to move forward. Charai Veti, Charai Veti. One who has made a long and wearisome journey acquires a grace incomparable. However important and great one might be, if he sits idle in this world, he is reduced to insignificance. He who walks endlessly has God as his comrade and co-traveler. Hence, O traveler, march along. 2. A traveler's body blooms in grace and beauty. His soul becomes greater every day. Isn't that life's greatest achievement? As he marches along the open road, his sins are automatically destroyed and they fall dead. Hence, O traveler, march along. Charai Veti, Charai Veti. An idle man's fate sits idle too. When one rises and just stands upright, his fate also rises and just stands up. As he lies down, his fate lies down with him. He who marches along has his fate marching with him. Hence, O traveler, march along. Charai Veti. 4. While one sleeps, it is Kali Yuga. When he merely awakes, it is Dwapara. As he stands up, it is Treta. But the moment he steps onward, there is Sattva Yuga. Hence, O traveler, march along. 5. To march along is to gain immortality. Marching by itself is the sweet fruit of the journey. Look at the sun, the ever-glorious and eternal traveler, who once having started on his journey has never felt drowsy. Hence, O traveler, march along. Charai Veti, Charai Veti. Surjasya Pasya Sriman. Ah, that is a beautiful words. See the sun, the eternal traveler. The sun never gets drowsy or takes rest. The sun is continuously traveling. What beautiful ideas, the mantras. Kathopanishad tells us, Uttishthito, Jagrata, Prapya Varan Nibudata. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. These are the mantras we have in our Upanishads, in the Vedas. I remember in 1966 I was in the hospital. I had some check-up. So the radiologist was our devotee, Ujwar, nice man, Dr. Bashu. He came to me, Swami, I have no time to read your books and your scriptures. Write one thing for me, one verse for me in my diary so that I can practice. I have no time to read all these books. So I wrote on his diary one verse from the Bhagavad Gita. I think it is in chapter 6, verse 5 or 6. I don't remember the exact number. Uddharet atmanatmanam na atmanam abasadayat atmaivai atmana bandhu atmaivo ripuratmanaha. That is one of my favorite verses. It is an anti-depression mantra, I tell you. When you get depressed, read this one. Raise yourself, O Arjuna. Uddharet atmanatmanam. Raise yourself by yourself. Meaning your mind. Raise your mind. No atma namabhasada. Don't yield your mind to get depressed. Abhasad. Abhasad means, oof, I have no hope, I am broken. Depressed. Depressed. Many of us suffer from this depression. How spiritual excitement can destroy the depression. Natma nam abhasadayat atmaiva hi atmana bandhu. Your disciplined mind is your friend. Atmaiva ripuratmana. Your indisciplined mind is your enemy. You are your friend, you are your enemy. Do not blame others. No one to blame, mother. It is all our karma. Excitement. Spiritual excitement will unfold ourselves, our Atman, and we shall find fulfillment in life. Thank you very much. Masatuma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mriturma amritam gamaya, abirabirma yedhi, rudrajate dakshinamukam, tinamam pahi nityam, om shanti, shanti, shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, lead us from death to immortality, light us through and through, and guide us evermore with thy loving presence. Peace, 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 control. Jai Ma. George, you have an announcement, something?